All right. I'm not sure what's going on with Facebook. Unfortunately, comments have not been showing up in my feed. So I decided to restart it and see if that will give me a clean slate. It's kind of annoying to break the video up into two pieces, but had to do it. First viewer back. If you were just on the page, please come back. John Hauptman is here. Were there a bunch of comments after Bobby Jackson joined? Because it just like froze up on me. J.R. Lowe's here. Great. Eric Powell joined again. Now, Eric Powell, you joining is what crashed my feed last time. So I don't know what's wrong with you. Hello, Nick. Thank you for stopping by. That satisfaction part of the equation is a big one, and I think it's easy to overlook because this is a business, and when we think business, we think money. In before the lock. I hope not. I hope there's no lock this time, Ryan. So, money is part of it. You can't run a business if you can't make money. If you run the business and you're not generating any profit, you don't have a business. You have a hobby. You have something else, but not a business. Yeah, I did flash a gun around at the beginning of the feed. Maybe that's what got Facebook to lock me out. But the satisfaction is a big part of it as well, because you need to have energy and excitement in your business. You have to be enthusiastic about what you're doing, and I'm sure all of you have. If I ask you to take a second, you know what? I'll actually do it. What I'd like you to do, if you're here watching the feed, is I want you to think of 2 products in your current offering. One product that you really enjoy making, like your favorite thing to make, and a product that's at the bottom end that you don't like to make, and every time one gets ordered on your website, you inwardly groan. Okay? And, so think of those 2, post them in a comment. I want to see which are, in your mind, your 2 polar opposites, your 2 extremes. Which product do you most enjoy? Which product do you least enjoy? For me, I would probably say my favorite one to make is light-bearing appendix holsters, currently, of my individual line. And my least favorite to make is outside the waistband pancakes. It's just, I don't find them as fun to make. They're not as satisfying for me. And I make them, but I really get really excited about really refining a design like this and getting it to work well. I get a lot less excited because there's much less distinctive about pancakes, or at least my pancakes. They're pretty straightforward. Non-adjustable retention taco is my favorite. Yeah, Conrad, that is true. Hate any light bearing I don't have split molds for. Yeah, Mike, I'll bet. Least like outside the waistband pancakes, says Todd May. Yeah, so Eric Powell. Random things that are not high volume in your shop are always frustrating because they almost never justify the time investment to really optimize the process to make them. And so you end up making them inefficiently and just sort of grinding your way through it every time one gets ordered, because it's never going to be so big a hassle that it justifies taking several hours to try to tune the process up for that one. Anything currently on the website? Yeah. Brent seems like he's easily made happy, likes to make everything in his current catalog. And so the follow-up question to this, if you have products you love making and products you don't like making, why do you still make the ones you don't like making? Is it because you have long-term existing clients that count on those items and you feel like you can't let them go because you'd be sort of orphaning some of your customers? Is it because you have gun stores that want those products and you don't want to lose the gun store, so you have to keep making that product? Is it because you just don't want to narrow your product line? You feel like you'll just lose sales? Or is it because you just haven't made up your mind to get rid of the stuff you don't like making. There's a bunch of different reasons why that could be. But deciding, looking honestly and assessing what makes you happiest in your business to make, and then focusing on making that, making lots of that, is a big part of keeping you happy and sane in your business. And now Facebook is telling me my connection is weak. Unbelievable. I don't know if it's getting choppy at your guys' end. I hope not. I'm just going to keep on keeping on. So when you do wholesaling, you can get gun stores to carry your line. You can get other online web stores to carry your line. And there are some challenges to both of those. If you have ever tried to sell Kydex holsters through a brick and mortar gun store, I'm sure you've noticed that, unfortunately, a lot of brick and mortar stores are about 25 years behind the curve. Video quality going down, says Jarlow. That's unfortunate. A lot of gun stores are about 25 years behind the curve. And, yeah, something. Maybe it's my neighbors. Customers do get upset when they find their oddball gun isn't supported. Yeah, that does happen. You will have customers sometimes, especially if they've bought something from you before and they liked it and they want another one and you no longer offer it. That's hard, and you can have customers be upset. But if it doesn't work for your business to make it, don't make it. In this kind of small business, none of us have time or energy to spend our time making lots of stuff we don't like. And if you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of sales and you have to get your foot in the door somewhere, that might mean making an unusual holster for a trainer, for a competitive shooter, making something for a gun store owner, something you wouldn't normally do. If that gets you the exposure that you need in order to move your business to the next level, then totally do that. And I'm also fine with, I would encourage you to consider giving away holsters from time to time, but I don't ever give away holsters to people who come to me asking for free holsters. To me, that's just a big red flag. Anybody who's a serious shooter, a trainer, a competitor, if they go around begging for free stuff, I don't want to encourage that, and I also probably don't really want to work with them necessarily, depending. But if you're going to go for wholesale, there are a few ways to make wholesale work really well for you. One of the key ones is going wholesale and putting out large numbers of identical units is the best way to avoid buying supplies in bulk. And that's a huge part of making individual units profitable, because you have to be able to set your pricing high enough that you can afford to give a wholesale discount, and you also need to have a steady supply of material on hand to fill those larger orders, and you've got to have your process on your core items dialed in enough that you can actually make 50 or 60 of something pretty quickly. If you just like doing Kydex on the weekends and it's just fun for you, then the retail side is probably a better fit for you. You may have a friend who owns a local gun store and he wants to stock your stuff, and that's totally great. But if you want to go for more serious wholesaling, then really streamlining the process, even things as simple as how you organize the benches in your shop so that the work flows naturally from station to station to station. So, forming, cutting, drilling, trimming, buffing, shipping and packaging, so that all those things flow together smoothly. that can make a huge difference in the efficiency of the shop. Having a system for moving bins of parts around the shop, just having trays handy so you can keep everything organized and flowing around the shop is a big part of getting it to work well. The pricing thing is a spot where it looks to me like a lot of small companies set themselves up at a price point that doesn't enable them to grow. And this is not to say that everybody just starting out in their first month should be charging $75 for a holster. They probably shouldn't. Until your work is really good, you don't command that price. But if your work is really solid, raising the price up is a way both of moderating the number of orders you get hit with and also increasing your profitability per unit and making the product more attractive for a wholesaler because you can afford to give them potentially a steeper discount and still have them making decent money on those products. Comments have stopped showing up again, and I'm getting suspicious that Facebook is not playing nice again. Oh, frustration. Well, I just saw a like show up, but I'm not seeing any new comments. Not sure what to do about that. 1 second. Okay. Still seeing likes show up, still seeing people join, not seeing any new comments. All right. Well, I'm not going to close it down a second time. I'm going to keep going just for a couple more minutes, and then I will go back over the comments later. I'm sorry if I can't see your comment and answer you in the course of the video. I will review all the comments this evening and respond to you in text, and then if I need to, follow up in another video with answers to your specific questions. I had one more question I'd like to ask all of you before you head out tonight. If you could, please leave a comment and let me know what would be the ideal time for you to watch Facebook Live video. I'm going to do some more experimenting, try broadcasting a couple different times of day to see when works well for the most people. But I would like to know from you guys who are already watching my feed what times of day work well for you. If you're not in the Eastern Standard time zone, please post your time zone so I know where you are and what time you're actually talking about. So please post a comment up and let me know when you would most prefer to see these live video broadcasts happen in terms of time of day. Since I no longer have a day job and I'm only in the holster shop, I can be pretty flexible there and hopefully accommodate a time schedule that works well for the greatest number of people, is the goal. So the big question I started with is, where do you find the most satisfaction in your work? And that's a critical one to keep asking yourself, because as you add new products, as you change your process, as you build new relationships with individual clients, with gun stores, with other people in the industry, the things you make will change. Your product line should evolve and be updated and improved over time if you're doing your job. And what you enjoy doing and how you enjoy doing it will change over time. So it's not a ask it and answer it one time and be done forever kind of question, but it's an ongoing sort of take the temperature of the business kind of question. Where am I finding the most satisfaction in the business? How can I do more of that? And that may mean changing what you sell, who you sell to, how you advertise. It may mean trying to market to a new type of customer, or it may mean stop marketing to an existing kind of customer that you have. It may mean learning new social media games. It may mean a whole bunch of different things. But wherever you find the satisfaction in your job, wherever you find the work that you love doing, try to find ways to do more of that in your business. And If you love the retail side, go for the retail side. If you love doing wholesale and you love doing bulk, you love doing volume, you find satisfaction in putting big boxes of parts out the door, that's me. I love putting big boxes of parts out the door. Then find ways to pursue that. And when it comes to setting your pricing, set pricing high enough so you can afford to give a discount, buy supplies in bulk. It's a huge time drain to have to be managing and watching tiny quantities of stuff. Anytime I'm buying hardware, I always buy more than I think I'll need. The only time I don't do that is when I'm sampling something and I don't intend to offer it. If I have hardware that I know I'm going to use, I intend to offer it, I always buy more than I need. Even if it's something I think I'll use occasionally, I'll buy 500 of them, like screws and things, because I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm late filling an order or stressed because a couple dollars of some simple part that I need isn't in stock anymore. You know, I don't have it, and maybe for a little while, maybe the distributor's out, and I'm totally screwed. That really does happen. So if you're going to do wholesale, if you're going to commit to delivering volume, buying bulk is insurance for you. It can be kind of painful because you have to lay out a lot of cash up front. You know, buying thousands of dollars worth of plastic at a time is a challenge, and not every small business can do it. But if you can do it, you can ride out potential supply problems. You know, what if there's a fire? Like, what if Cleardex burns down, and like for 6 months there's no Kydex? Like, could your company survive it? What if, whatever the what if is. But if you are working on maintaining volume orders with a distributor, with a gun store, you have to be able to consistently hit those orders on whatever time frame you've agreed on with them. And buying more supplies than you think you need in the immediate future is insurance to prevent you from getting stuck, because you may end up going a couple weeks with no high volume orders, and then you might get 4 of your gun stores calling in the same day. You know, they were all running low, they'd been putting off calling you, and you can get hit by lightning and have all of a sudden a ton of business drop on you and not have the supplies on hand to fill it all, which can be stressful. So take a careful look at what you actually use, crunch the numbers over a 6-month period, see how much you're putting out, see how many square feet of plastic you go through on average in a week, in a month, and then buy extra, buy plenty more. Marketing and product information. When you deal with a wholesaler, or especially with a gun store, getting them to give the end users who come in their doors accurate information about your products is really hard, because it either requires you to train the staff to teach them what the holsters are, how they work, how they're made, what they're for, or to supply literature, to supply content to the gun store to give to the customer so that you can explain indirectly through print what the point of the design is, how it should best be used, how to adjust it, how to maintain it, those kind of things. If you don't do that, if you don't educate the gun store that's carrying your line, and you don't provide material for them to educate the customer with and for them to educate themselves with, it can be kind of frustrating to find out that your material is being poorly represented by somebody who wants to sell it but doesn't really understand it. And that's kind of a bummer. I've had people try to explain some of my design stuff, and when they tried to explain it to somebody else, it was obvious they didn't understand what I had built and why I had built it that way. And trying to find a way to get over that hump, customer education and gun store education, is a tough nut to crack. And I don't have a good solution for that, but you guys might. So if you sell to a gun store and you have a really good solution, worked out a good system for making sure the gun store employees understand well the features of your particular product and can explain it to the end users, that's great. Post it up, explain it in the comments. I'd love to know how you're doing it. That's going to be pretty much it for the broadcast tonight. I didn't get into all the details on all the different parts of wholesale and retail that I could think of. I typed up some notes and I've been skimming through them. But if you have particular questions, post them up and I'll either answer them in text or answer them with another video. Hopefully the audio quality is good. I've got the occasional connection is weak warning from Facebook. Hopefully you guys haven't seen a lot of lagging and fuzz in the video. It's frustrating that 2 videos in a row my comments feed has frozen up, but technology, can't live with it, can't live without it. So thank you for stopping by and spending some time with me this evening. I appreciate your attention, and I look forward to the next broadcast, having you stop by again. Please remember, before you leave, to post up what would be your preferred time of day to watch these Facebook broadcasts so I can plan more effectively to hit times that work well for you. So, thank you very much. That's going to be it for me. Have a good night, guys.